In this video we're going to find out what we could expect the next pump for Bitcoin, because yes, I found this fractal that might give us the indication when Bitcoin is going to see a massive pump towards the upside. But guys, we're also going to look at the price movement of Bitcoin, Ethereum and also the dollar currency index to find out what we could expect. And we're also going to look at Bitcoin's historical monthly returns to find out is September a good opportunity to buy or even to sell your Bitcoin. So guys, if you want to find out more, watch the video until the end and smash up the like button. And now let's directly start with today's video. And welcome back to B for Crypto. And yes, before we're going to go over to the charts, I want to thank you all for subscribing to my channel, because we reached 2,000 subscribers and this wouldn't have been possible without you guys. So this is why I appreciate each one of you. And if you're still watching this video without being subscribed, go down in the video description below and subscribe exactly now. So let's go over to the charts to find out what we could expect. And yes guys, we're going to start with the monthly returns of Bitcoin to find out is this month a good opportunity to buy or even to sell or your cryptocurrencies. Guys, we're going to look at the charts. So first of all, this is the Bitcoin historical monthly return chart, and we can see it starts from 2013 and goes all the way to the present price movement. So yes, we're going to start exactly from January, where we can see that January normally is a quite bearish month. February we can see is a good month. We see a lot of green month. Around about 8 out of 10 times we could see a bullish close, a bullish monthly close. So if we go over to March, we can see we have 4 out of 10 times. In April, 6 out of 10 times that we could see a bullish market. But let's go to the present month. Yes, August isn't in yet, so let's go over to the charts to find out what was the monthly close of August. And if we go over to the monthly chart of Bitcoin, and this means, yes guys, each candle represents 1 month. So if we look at the monthly chart, each candle is representing one whole month. And if we look at the green candles always open at the bottom and close at the top. And the wicks that we are seeing is a price indication that the price went all the way to the level of 29,234 and came all the way back down to the low at the wick at 19,598. So yes, this is the bullish candle. And if we're going to look at the bearish candle, the red candle always opens at the top and closes at the bottom at the candle body, and we can see that the price movement went all the way to the top of the wick and all the way to the bottom of the wick during this price range, and it closed exactly here, and the green candle opened exactly here. So now we're going to find out which percentage gain we had in August. And if we're going to look at the price movement all the way from the candle open all the way to the candle close, then we can see that August was around 11%. So over on the charts, yes, we closed this month with 11% in a minus. So yes, we can see that September is normally a quite bearish month. So is this the opportunity to sell your Bitcoin? No guys, this is the opportunity to dollar cost average into Bitcoin, because if we look at October and also November, we can see that these are quite bullish months. So this would be the best opportunity to dollar cost average in these areas and not to sell your Bitcoin. Because if we go over to the next graph, yes, this is the psychology of a market cycle. So first of all, we're going to look at the peak, the point of maximum financial risk, which is always the top of the market. And this is normally when all the mainstream people get into Bitcoin, because we are seeing this major FOMO because of the markets moving up so quickly. And this is where most of the people enter the markets exactly in this area, where we can see, yes, we've got a lot of euphoria and a thrill and also belief. And this is normally the market cycle where a lot of people get in. But we really need to focus on the point of maximum financial opportunity, and this is always here guys, because if there's blood in the street, this normally is the best time to invest. And at the moment guys, we've been through this major dump. We've seen the bear market, FTX collapse, and also we've found the bottom. And then we saw this depression phase where the markets went only sideways, and now we had this pump towards the upside from the beginning of the year, which is also a lot of people's disbelief, because they think that we're going to go even lower and that the markets are going to dump. So they're waiting exactly in these areas to buy Bitcoin even lower. But guys, this is the best opportunity to dollar cost average, because you never can find the bottom. And that is exactly what we're going to look at. We're going to go over to the charts to find out what we could expect for Bitcoin. But we're going to start on the weekly chart, and if we go over to the weekly chart, guys, we can see we lost this major important level, this trend line towards the upside that we have been farming from the beginning of the year. We saw this major pump towards the upside, but guys, I have this new trend line, this yellow trend line, and why? Because yes, we had this major dump, found support, and we bounced off from this level, and it turned into resistance. We came back above, and the markets dumped all the way back down. We got resistance from this major support, which acted as resistance, and we could see the price movement once again had resistance, and we found the bottom for Bitcoin, and we came all the way back up, and we pumped through this major area where we had previous resistance exactly all the way in these areas, and this trend line we perfectly held. Then we saw this wick towards the downside, and we bounced off from this trend, and this trend brought us all the way up to the swing high of $31,000. But we can see, yes, we perfectly held this trend line, and here we could see the break of this major trend line. But guys, yes, this is going to be my worst case scenario and the next major level that we're going to reach, and this is also in perfect confluence with this major support box exactly in these areas of $24,100. So yes, this is going to be my ultimate worst case scenario, that Bitcoin is going to come all the way back down. But guys, we're going to go on the daily chart, and I'm going to show you this fractal that might tell us that we're going to see a major pump very soon. So on the daily chart, yes, we can see we didn't hold the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level, and we came all the way back down to the support. But guys, first of all, we're going to concentrate on this major fractal, and for that we're going to zoom out on the daily chart to look at the bigger perspective of Bitcoin on the daily chart. And yes guys, we can see that we're forming this major M, but what can we see guys? We have seen this price movement before, because we had this major pump up, and then we had this major depressing zone. Let me just change it to a solid line, and then we can see, yes, we have formed this local high, and then we were in this bearish trend, forming lower highs all the way back down to this major support zone. But guys, yes, we're going to look at the major coincidence, what happened exactly in these areas, but we can also see that Bitcoin is exactly doing the same move as we can see exactly here. Because yes, we had this major pump up, formed the high, and then we could see this bearish structure forming lower highs for Bitcoin, and now we're reaching this bottom and this depression phase where a lot of people get out of the market. They don't exit the markets here, no, they're holding on, and if the market goes sideways and it's like really depressing and a lot of people are shouting for lower prices, they're getting out exactly here. And this is the wrong thing to do, because yes, like I showed you in the psychology of the market, guys, if there's blood in the street, dumping markets, this usually is the best opportunity to buy. But let's go back over to the charts, because yes, this gets even more interesting. If we look at the time frame from this perfect bounce at this trend line all the way to the lowest point, then we can see this has been exactly 96 days. And if we look at the next fractal, we're going to take it all the way from the bottom all the way here, and then we can see, guys, if we're going to drag it over to exactly 96 days, we can see this would be on the 19th of September. But guys, what is going to happen on the 19th of September, which actually also happened exactly at this point, and that I'm going to show you exactly now. Because yes, on the 14th of June 2023, we could see that we had the first rate pause, and this was exactly in these levels. The 14th of June, exactly in these areas where the price movement of Bitcoin just saw this massive pump towards the upside. And why? Yes, because the Federal Reserve paused the interest rate hikes, and this is also exactly the same date, exactly after 96 days. So what is this telling us? Yes, the major whales and the big institutions are playing this game of major pumps, and then we can see this accumulation phase where a lot of people get to the point where they're selling the Bitcoin exactly in these lows, and this is also the bottom for Bitcoin, where then we could see this massive pump towards the upside. So yes, on the 19th of September, we're going to get the next FOMC meeting, and could it be that we're going to see a rate hike pause? Yes, we have a high possibility that the Federal Reserve is going to pause rate hikes, and that we could expect the next massive move for Bitcoin. So yes, if we look at all the factors, then we can see, guys, accumulating in these areas would be the best opportunity. My worst case scenario for Bitcoin is going to be the bottom of this support box, which is also this major trend line on the weekly chart. I expect that Bitcoin, with the worst case scenario, is going to come all the way back into these levels, and that we're going to see a quick recovery after the FOMC meeting. And yes, this is also this major pivot point that we've been talking about, Because here we can see, yes, Bitcoin formed the all-time high, then we were in this bear market, lost this critical support, saw this dump, formed the bottom, and then we broke this critical support towards the upside, which turned into resistance, and then we could see this pre-halvening run, and Bitcoin always closed above this critical level, and at the moment we can see that Bitcoin, yes, we were in this prolonged bear market, we came underneath this major support zone, which was round about $25,300 where the price movement is at the moment. We saw the bear market bottom and we broke this pivot point towards the upside, and at the moment Bitcoin is still holding above. This doesn't mean that we can't see a wick underneath this level, but I don't think we're going to close a weekly candle underneath this major level of $24,900. So yes guys, we could see this dump towards the downside, a quick recovery, and guys, I expect that Bitcoin is going to go even higher. But guys, before we're going to end this video, we're going to go over to Ethereum. But let's look at the dollar index, because yes, we saw this massive push towards the upside, but at the moment the dollar index is in this major resistance zone. So could this be the point where the dollar index is going to turn around? Yes guys, I think we could see some little bit more action towards the upside, but I expect if we're going to see the rate pause from the Federal Reserve, that we could expect this move all the way back down to this critical level, and that we're going to see that Bitcoin is going to pump towards the upside. Because yes, on the chart of Ethereum, we can see we have the same picture. A little bit different, but Ethereum also formed the high, and we could see we held this trend line, we bounced off from this trend line, and then we could see we broke this trend line towards the downside. And yes, we have a similar trend where we can see Ethereum is at the moment, and it's perfectly respecting these levels, because we can see that Ethereum on the weekly chart is forming higher lows, and this is still extremely bullish, and we are in this major support zone, and we are held by this major trend line where we can see we had the bottom, we had this pump towards the upside, and then we came all the way back down to these levels, found support exactly on this trend line, and then we started in the beginning of this year with this parabolic run towards the upside, bounced perfectly from this rising trend line, and we can see we lost this trend line, and now we are perfectly respecting this area. So could it be that we're going to see a little bit more sideways movement before we're also going to get the next bullish move towards the upside? Guys, if you always want to stay up to date, make sure to subscribe to this channel and be for crypto, and we see each other in the next video.